is almost time for the Royal Rumble. No, it's not. I'm way too early, unless, of course, you're watching this from the future, which is a YouTube thing, and if so, hello, time traveler. But the other day, somebody did come up to me and said, "Oh, hi, Simon, who do you think should win the 2024 Royal Rumbles?" I was like, man, it's a really good question. Like, it's kind of hard to answer because we need to be closer to January so we can see the lay of the land, but because I am a nerd, I couldn't help myself. So yes, hello my friends, I am Simon from What Culture. Thank you for tuning in and please do subscribe. And here is 10 early winners for the Rumble 2024. Number 10, Raquel Rodriguez. As of me talking, we are building up slowly to Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship, or Heavyweight Championship, whatever the hell we're calling it. And here's the deal, Raquel has to lose, it ain't a time. If anything, you could argue that WWE has pulled the trigger on this a little bit too early, because clearly we have a future star in Raquel, which is why we need to treat her with kid's glove. Don't go throwing her into the ground. The thing is, when she is allowed to spread her wings and fly, she is totally going to smash it. Because one, she already proved this down at NXT, but also two, she has a unique look and she looks like she could kick your ass. That is massively important. That's the point of wrestling. So at the moment, all she really does is smile and flex her back, which is kind of okay, but we do need more. So if you do finally want to get into it, what do? We get to the Royal Rumble 2024 and we say, Raquel, this is your year, much like quite clearly 2023 should be the year of Rhea Ripley. So the potential is there, it just needs to be realized. Sometimes that should be what the Royal Rumble is for. Do it. Number 9, Solo SIKOA. I mean, you could essentially copy and paste what I just said for Solo in 2024. Sometimes things just make sense. Now, Solo SIKOA, in terms of where he's at in the pecking order, is miles ahead of Raquel Rodriguez, because he has been an essential pivot point within the Bloodline story, and the Bloodline story is one of the most successful things that WWE has ever done. And to ignore that would be crazy, because we've seen the benefit that it's had with Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, so the next person that has to benefit is this chap. The final piece is, of course, making sure that he becomes a superstar. So when we get to the Royal Rumble, we do actually have some options, because that's our next super big pay-per-view premium live event. So if there you want to do Roman Reigns versus Solo SIKOA, well, I ain't going to argue with you. In fact, I'd greenlight it. Thing is, we did the Sami Zayn match in February of this year. That was totally fine. So maybe you could have Solo wins the Royal Rumble. He then has his one-on-one match with the head of the table, and that's why they break up, because Roman's like, well, you're not going to, use that Royal Rumble win to take my championship, are you? SIKOA's like, I'm not sure. And then they fight. And look, you can still get to WrestleMania 40 and do Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, which is what I think is going to happen, because it means Solo can go after the other championship. And it doesn't matter if Seth Rollins has it, Finn Balor has it, or even a Damian Priest. Why can't he win? Seriously, think about it. Why can't he become the World Heavyweight Champion on Raw? There's no reason not to do it. So at the very least, he should be in the conversation, and if he's not part of the Final Four, well, I'm not going to do anything about it. What can I do? I'll just be sad. Number 8, BAYLEY. BAYLEY is awesome. As of late, we have teamed her up with Shotzi, the bald-headed warrior, and of course the reason that we've done this is that Shotzi needs to get some licks in there, so management went, well, who can make her better? Of course, it's BAYLEY. When you do break it down as well in terms of the 4 horsewomen, only one of these members has not won the Royal Rumble, and if you haven't figured it out, you're not listening, the answer is BAYLEY. So just because she is so damn good, and because she has given so much to professional wrestling, I think this is one of those, well, she deserves it scenarios, so give it to her. I mean, she just has such high quality work no matter what character you give her. And look, WWE loves going, oh, if you win the Royal Rumble, you're gonna main event WrestleMania. But that's not true. Look at SummerSlam that we just had. There was like 7 main events, which doesn't make any sense. So by the time we get to next year's Mania, there's probably gonna be 42. Nowadays, there's just important matches. I mean, you can even tie this in with her face turn because she has been a bad guy for ages. It's not like people don't love her, they do. If you wanted to go super long term as well, don't forget Io Sky has just cashed in the briefcase. So if you could keep this rocking and rolling, you could build up the big Damage Control meltdown, and then those two could fight at WrestleMania for Io Sky's brand new championship. And BAYLEY could actually lose then too, who the flub knows. Just make sure she wins the Royal Rumble, full stop. Number 7, CODY RHODES. So this would be my pick, and I know that's really boring and obvious, but I just think when we get to WrestleMania 40, we should do the obvious storyline, which is Cody versus Roman round 2. This time, Reigns has no friends, he has no buddies, he has no family, it's just him and his championships. The American Nightmare takes them from the head of the table, and then our tribal chief goes, well, now I'm all alone. Why not? I mean, Cody is still so over despite his loss at Mania 39. This could send him into the stratosphere. Because don't forget, when like Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 and ended the streak, he was able to climb the ladder. And given that Roman has held the belt for 7,966 days, if you do this right, well, I think you could do the same thing with Rhodes. You could also do a total 180, and this time he enters at number 1 before winning. Once again, I'm going to ask you that question with these 2 words. Why not? Would it make you feel warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum? Yes, it would. Just make sure the last 2 aren't him and LA Knight. That would be bad. We'll talk about that in a second. But so many people like to go, oh man, that's so boring. But you don't put on a romantic comedy and go, man, I hope one of the 2 main characters murders the other one. No, you just want to see them kiss and make love. It's really weird. Let's just talk about something else. Number 6, Shayna Baszler. Okay, so let's chat momentum. And then let's talk about SummerSlam, because at that event, Ronda Rousey was defeated by Shayna Baszler in a very strange MMA rules match, but Shayna basically submitted her or tapped her out or beat her via this kind of a method. And had anybody else in WWE ever done that? No, this was big. And getting a win like this over Rousey should be treated like a big deal forevermore. So if you don't have plans for Shayna right now, then what was the point? Like, it's absolutely waste of everybody's time. You have to capitalize on these things, otherwise we become sad pandas. There it is again. So I hope we get on this train and ride it all the way to the success town, which for me would be a win at the Royal Rumble, or once again at least a very damn strong showing. Baszler also just feels legit because she is, and if you need a template, just go and look what she did in NXT and copy and paste that. Now when she was brought up to the main roster first time, it kind of felt like we were going to do this until we took the idea and poof, we kicked it out the window. You can also spend all this time by saying, oh my gosh, she made Ronda Rousey retire, to the point if she did win a championship or something like the Rumble, I think most individuals would be like, yeah, I get it. That's why we did what we did. So I'm very passionate about this one because I just think Shayna Baszler is so underutilized. Even more so if Rousey has gone. You've got to use what she has. Otherwise, why am I even here? Number 5, Logan Paul. Did you hear that? It was the internet melting down, let's go. So like him or hate him, Logan Paul has become a terrific sports entertainer / wrestler. And I went back and watched that match he had with Ricochet at SummerSlam. It's only like, what, his 4th or 5th contest? I do not get it. He's amazing. He just seems to get better and better too, which is why so many people were saying, oh my gosh, he should win Money in the Bank, and why so many people will be going, oh, he should win the Royal Rumble. Because not only would it get a mega reaction, but it would get WWE's favorite thing in the world, mainstream attention. And you know that Paul would go on about this in every single interview that he did do because he'd be so damn proud. And do not tie this into the past. People go, oh, we made David Arquette champion in WCW. We shouldn't have done that. This is totally different. If David Arquette was having matches like Logan Paul, nobody would have given a damn. I also actually think that having the Royal Rumble winner absence from TV would be something different. And we have had a lot of Rumbles. And no, I don't think he's going to go on to be the person to throw Roman Reigns. But this is a solo SIKOA situation. There is another belt. I mean, you could do Seth Rollins, and that would be an interesting rematch from what we did this WrestleMania. And if it was someone like Finn Balor or Damian Priest, I'd tell you this, I think WWE would actually have Logan Paul win. Oodalally. And it would be unbelievable if we did do this and Paul cheated like he did at SummerSlam. I don't think Twitter or X would ever get over it. I'm not saying that there aren't wrestlers who deserve this more, that's not the point. Just saying, if you are trying to explode the world, well, we do have an option. Number 4, Charlotte Flair. Now, let's just be honest with ourselves. At some point, WWE is going to go, oh my gosh, Charlotte Flair is so close to beating Ric Flair's world title record. Shall we do the narrative today? Yes, we shall. And given that in 2024 it is going to be WrestleMania 40, and they're probably going to want the Nature Boy there, and to make it all historic, I can actually see a scenario where Charlotte Flair wins the Royal Rumble, she wins at WrestleMania. By that point, she has broken the record, and everybody's happy, apart from that little group on the internet that seems to hate the Queen, but we can't do anything about that. You also get to tell the tale that it's Charlotte's 2nd time of winning a Royal Rumble, which is important. So actually, if you did put all the pieces in the right place, it probably worked. Now, if I'm honest, I couldn't actually tell you what number Charlotte Flair is on at the moment when it comes to championships, because WWE changes their mind all the time. But they're just going to do it again, so I'm not bothering myself with this. Number 3, Gunther. I mean, it's got to happen eventually, right? Gunther's on fire. But he has done so well as the Intercontinental Champion. When he is defeated for that title, no one's going to go, oh man, what a loser. No, we're going to go back to yesteryear, and we're going to use it as a stepping up point, and then all of a sudden, he's going to be in the main event. Damn right. And by September the 7th, 2023, if he does make it, he will surpass the Honky Tonk Man's Intercontinental title record. And then even if Drew McIntyre beats him for it, nobody is going to give a flub. It actually just opens up the ring general to go and do something new. I really do think that 2024 should be another 12-month period where Gunther is put front and center. So he needs to win the Royal Rumble, he needs to win a World Championship, and then he needs to be the dominant end-of-level boss. Especially if we end the Bloodline angle, he could actually step into Roman Reigns' position. I'm not saying he's going to beat him, but that's how he could be portrayed. Although saying that, if he was the guy to defeat the Tribal Chief, would I care? No. No, I wouldn't at all. Number 2, Liv Morgan. Because eventually we just gotta go with her. Because not only does Liv Morgan really give a shit, people actually like her. And if you are gonna be a babyface wrestler, that's super important. The fans warm to you. It's also really hard to establish in 2023 because we're a cynical old bunch. So when she does come back from injury, especially if she's a surprise in the 2024 Rumble and she wins, I think that would create quite the conversation. It also ties back to Morgan's first championship run, which was not done well at all, because she was cast as such a goober for some reason. Like, she basically fluked her way into every single win, but that's okay. You can go through many a wrestler that had their first run with a title, and it was just a bit meh, as long as you learn from it and move on. So if everything does line up, and she can be a surprise, well, I can think of worse winners than Liv Morgan. Number 1, LA Knight. And obviously, should have guessed this from the point I said hello. Because at the moment, LA Knight is so over that nothing short of strapping a rocket to his back is going to do. And sure, by the time we get to the Royal Rumble, he could be a mid-card champion and he could have beaten The Miz or somebody else in many a feud. But I think if this organic rise continues, eventually we gotta put him in a major position. If you don't do that, WWE's gonna look like a silly Billy, and nobody wants to look like a silly Billy. And let's not forget this has happened before. Stone Cold Steve Austin was never meant to be a top guy, but all of a sudden people started to go, oh my gosh, I love the rattlesnake, and we went with it, and look at the results. I'm not saying that LA Knight is gonna be able to replicate that, but I am saying if we hadn't done that with Steve, he would forever be known as the ringmaster. That sucked. Ultimately, I just think we need to know, can we take someone like Knight that was never destined to be in the main event picture and actually make it click? Because if he did win the Royal Rumble and then he went to WrestleMania, I think a lot of people are going to be damn excited, and that's the point of wrestling. You also want to tell the audience that we are going big here with a big momentous win, which is why, even if he never gets a world championship, allow him to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, we've done that before. Somebody wins the thing and then they get screwed. I mean, that would kill us, but at least we'll always have January 2024. Let's keep everything crossed. Now, please do leave a comment below and let me know who should be winning the Royal Rumble 2024, and you can say whoever the hell you like. Say Repo Man, I'll agree with you. Click the video on the screen to continue What Culture journey. Before you like the video, share the video and subscribe. Then please do go to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles like this and keep up with the news. Follow us on social media at Simon316 and What Culture WWE. And look, I get that it's August or September, October, November, December, depending when you've decided to watch this video, but it's nice to look forward. Because if you look back, you trip up. Goodbye.